This is chapter 9, right?
So this is chapter 9. We're actually still working on section 9.1. Conic sections. We are working on the first of the conic sections that we're going to talk about. And of course it is still about parabolas. We're still working on parabolas. So all of you right now should have that piece of paper that I copied for you and gave to you yesterday on page 633 in your book. That should be a helpful piece of information for you so that you're not constantly flipping back and forth in your book. Yes?
Do you have set of paper?
Yes, I do. Yeah, does anybody else need it? Anybody else was not here yesterday need this paper from yesterday? All right, so
This is sweet if you want to.
just use this as a reference so that you don't have to flip back and forth in your book. You are not allowed to use it on the test, but I will have another cheat sheet for you guys to use on the test. So, all right. We talked about this the other day. It is not on video because remember this wasn't quite working the way it was supposed to work. But if the vertex of a parabola, is at 0, comma 0, you had to use either x squared was equal to 4py, or you had to use y squared is equal to 4px. That you guys I feel like you guys should be comfortable with that at that point. Now remember, if the x value either going to be, if the y value parabola will either go left or over. Now the only difference between these equations here and the pictures that I just drew is that I obviously do not have the vertex at 0, 0. But regardless of where the vertex is, if the y part of it is squared, it's going to open left or right. If the x part of it is squared, it's going to open up or it's going to open down. Okay, but today we're going to make it a little bit more complicated. And I know we talked about this a little bit yesterday in class, but today we're actually going to start applying the new equations. All right, and the equations should be on that piece of paper that I gave to you yesterday, page 633. Can I flip you guys? So on page 633 in your book, there is a table, and in that, or there's a box, I should say, and in that box it gives you the two equations. One of them is this, x minus h squared is equal to 4p times y minus k. And then the other one, of course, is y minus k squared is equal to 4p times x minus h. And of course, you are going to use either one of these two equations if the vertex is not 0, 0. So far, so good?
Yeah.
Now, and we talked yesterday too about those pictures in that at the bottom of page 633. Those pictures will sometimes be very, very helpful. So obviously these are going to too. All right. Here's an example. We're going to jump right into some examples. Can I flip? You know what? Let me
You're good now.
let me back up here. What is the vertex of this one right here?
HK.
Yeah, it's always the opposite of whatever is added or subtracted from the x value. It's always the opposite of whatever is added or subtracted from the y value, so h comma k. What about the second one?
No.
Yeah, same thing, same thing. So here's the x value, what's added or subtracted, it's going to be h. The opposite of what's added or subtracted, same thing right here. What is the opposite of what's added from the y value? Remember, the h value always goes with the x, the k value always goes with the y. That just makes sense because when you write an ordered pair, you always write the x before you write the y. cannot stress to you guys enough the importance of drawing pictures. Draw pictures, draw. So when I give you some information, draw a picture right away so that you can get an idea of what direction your parabola should be opening, where the focus is, where the directrix is, and so on. So in this example, you have a vertex at 2, 0, and you have a focus at 3, 0. And your job is to write the equation of this parabola. Write the equation. So like I just said, draw yourself a picture. There's not a lot of information there, but there's enough for you guys to get a pretty good idea what this thing is going to look like. So I'm going to go over here to the side, quickly sketch your x and your y axis. You have a vertex at 2, 0. So go to 2, 0 and put a point. So I'm going to go to the right 2, and put a point. That's my vertex. And I have a focus at
3, 0.
3, 0. So I'm going to go over one more step and I'm going to put my focus. That tells you a lot right there. Yeah, the parabola is going to open to the right. Very good. So I'm just going to do a quick sketch here. It's going to look roughly like this. Remember, the focus sits like inside the parabola. Okay. So which equation are we going to use? We have a couple choices. I'm going to flip to this screen just really quickly. Which of the two are we going to use?
Second,
Why are we going to use the second one?
because it's horizontal.
Opening to the right, and that's the one that's not normal to you guys. So that means that the y value is going to be squared instead. So we know we have to use this thing. We have to use x. We are not using x. We are using y minus k squared is equal to 4p times x minus a. So we have to use that equation. It's probably a good idea to write it down. All right, the y value is going to stay a y value. So when you guys write an equation, the x's stay x's, the y's stay y. So when you're writing this, you're going to keep the y a y. What's the k value?
0.
Why is the k value 0?
It's HK.
Yeah, this right here, this is your vertex. This right here is your h value. The second number is your k value. So your k value in this case is 0, so we're going to do y minus 0 squared. Did I really even need to put the 0 there? I could have just said it was y squared, but I'm going to write it all out just, for the heck of it. 4 times, all right, p. What's p?
Focus. 3.
P is the distance that the focus is away from the vertex. And now it used to be when the vertex was at 0, whatever the focus was, wherever it was, that was the p value. But now you need to do a little bit of figuring. How many steps do you have to take to get from the vertex to the focus? How many steps do you have to take?
1.
You have to take 1 step. Positive or negative direction? It's going to be a positive direction, so your p value is going to be 1. What's the matter? Times x minus what's h?
Which H? Is that what you said?
What's h?
Oh.
This right here.
2.
This is your h value right there. So how do you write it in your equation? How do you write it in your equation? Yeah, it's always the opposite. It always shows up in your equation the opposite of what it actually is.
Minus 2.
So it's going to be x minus 2. All right, now, we got to make this look nicer because right now it doesn't look very nice. What is y minus 0? With y squared. Y squared is equal to, and then what is 4 times 1? 4, so write 4 times x minus 2. That's your equation. Now I want to also mention here that,
So.
I'm sorry, what?
That's it.
Oh. Huh?
That's it.
That's it? Yeah.
So we don't distribute.
You can if you want to, but soon you're going to get problems where your job is going to be to figure out where is the focus? So you're gonna need that number alone. We'll talk about that later. But so for right now, that is certainly fine. Is it wrong to distribute the 4 into the parentheses? No, of course not. That's
Extra work.
extra work, yes. All right, let's try another one. We have a vertex at -5, 2, and we have a focus at -5, -1, and your job is to write the equation in the appropriate form. So, all right, let's draw a picture again. Like I said before, I can't stress enough. Drawing pictures are just so helpful. -5, 2, so I go to the right.
Here, you mean left?
Yes. And did I say -5, 2? -5, 2. So I go to the left -5, and I go up 2. I put a point right here. That's my vertex. And then I have a focus at -5, -1. So again, I go to the left 5, and I have to go down 1. So I have a focus